Good morning, everyone. Looks like we're going to be doing some cart maintenance this morning. Got the batteries about ready to go, and we'll be using this rather large 500cc syringe and tubing along with some Parents' Choice distilled water. And we'll see what other kind of tips and tricks we can get to while we're at it. Stick around.
Does this look right? Ow! Where did I put my screws? I'm not sure this is how it's supposed to go.
Alright, so the first thing I do whenever I'm servicing the batteries, I go ahead and lift up the top here. And I've got a 2x2 stick. I cut it to about 9 inches, maybe 9 1/4. And I stick it in this far forward little notch right here. Put it forward, and it holds up my seat real nice right there in that location. Otherwise, usually just toss it in there behind the batteries, and you can also just move this out of the way, lift up the seat, and set it down. It's not that heavy. I'm just weak, I'm sure. There we go. And I can sit just like this. So I've got the speed cap system on here, and what I do is I pop that cap right there, and I just start at the closest one to me. And I've got this nifty little, it's not little, it's huge. It's a huge syringe. And I grab the tubing. One side I smashed in bigger than the other. So it goes in there just like that. And I just grab my water. Put the hose down inside, and I draw it up. Just like anything, you can siphon by just holding it down lower. And the cool thing is it'll just kind of fill itself up. I always think that's kind of cool. Just watch a syringe fill itself. Alright, I'm sure that's more than enough for the one battery. Go ahead and break that siphon. And then I just push it up against my hip and watch the battery level. Just make sure it doesn't go too high. And you're basically just aiming for the little notch that's in there. And just go from one to the other. And that's all there is to it. Go ahead and put the caps back on and move to your next battery. And that is about all there is to that. I go ahead and just refill everything back into my jug, empty out my tube, and you'll see that I splash water all over the batteries. There's nothing that's going to hurt the batteries. It's the water that's dripping out of the syringe. Let's see here. So, I mean, there's no acids in this. You don't have to worry about dripping this stuff. It'll dry. I tend to not worry too much about it. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and throw this seat back up on here. Like I said, it's not heavy. I'm just weak. That's right. It's a 2-man lift. Okay, so there's a question about the microphone that is found back behind the dash. So one of the things that I did with that was, hopefully you can see this here, this screen that's right here, I went ahead and just pried up on it There's just double-sided stick foam tape, double-sided foam tape holding that together. I cleaned up the area real good with like alcohol, and then popped this off. There's a hole that's drilled back behind there. Let me see if I can put up a shot of that. So you'll see that there's a hole drilled right behind where the video screen gets its wire from, and I fed the headphone jack down through that, and then just wrapped a little remote microphone, or lavalier microphone if you want to call it that. Clipped it right here to the steering wheel. Thanks for watching this last video on the Bintelli cart with the maintenance and a couple of tips and tricks that hopefully you picked up in there. If you have any suggestions on any videos in the future, just let me know. Drop a note in the comments. Thanks.